Hey, this is Mike Durr, the Kingwood Mortgage Guy, and listen, I wanted to go over this. I think it's a pretty important subject. One of the things that we find is that when we're going through the loan process, the ability for the borrowers to find information, particularly financial information, is a critical factor in our ability to get your loan done in a timely manner so that you're closing comfortably early. And that's what we want to do. And I'm convinced that this information is not taught in schools about how to keep your stuff organized. I know I wasn't taught. And it's almost kind of funny that I'm teaching this because nobody's ever accused me of being really overly organized. Now, I'm pretty organized, and I've gotten better as I've gotten older because I know the need or the importance of keeping your information together and being able to find stuff. But anyway, this is what that's about, and I'm going to try to go through it quickly. It's information that's going to help you keep your docs together, and we're going to basically answer 4 quick questions, and hopefully this will be helpful to, if not you, maybe somebody that you know. So that's what the premise of this is. And so let me just go to the next thing. I am the Kingwood Mortgage Guy. I work with my friend Gabe Winslow, who is a certified attorney, and he works here at the office with us, and we originate loans, and we just have a lot of fun doing that. My specialty is credit and helping people with less than perfect credit improve their credit scores. And Gabe, of course, anything that's legal, title-wise. Gabe worked in the title industry for a lot of years and has moved to join us in the mortgage industry, and we think that he can provide a lot of value for people that have any kind of title type of issues. So what we're going to cover tonight is, well, these 4 things. Who is going to keep track of your important documents? Now, if you don't know who it is that's going to keep track of your documents, then that's a critical thing because somebody in your household needs to do that. The second thing is where to put your important documents. We're going to talk about where you put those documents so that you can always find them. The next one is, what documents do you keep? Do you keep everything, every piece of paper that you get? Well, no, you don't. And then finally, the last question is, how long do we have to keep these documents? At what time can we throw them away or shred them or take care of them? So we're going to get through that. We're going to go as quickly as we possibly can. And so, who's going to keep track of your important documents? Well, if you're single, it's you. And you just got to have to get around that. It's going to be a lot better for you when you're asked to provide stuff if you have a specific place that you're keeping that. And I thought this was kind of funny. So, who? Me? What? Come on. No, not that. Anyway, if you're a couple, I've found that one of the couple, is better at keeping track of things, is better than the other. Now, hopefully, one is really good and one is just okay, but it could be both of you are bad. And if that's the case, this is all the more reason why I wanted to try to make this as simple as you possibly can. And I'll tell you that both of you need to understand that you have to have a system. There's got to be some kind of system at your house so that you can do this on a reasonably and consistent pattern, or you just have to have the system. And if you both aren't if you aren't both on board with this plan, then it's going to be a problem. So each of you have to participate, and crazy stuff happens for people. And if one person is not in a position to get something, then the other one's got to know where to get it or where to go, and it's got to maybe, hopefully, some guidance from the other person that's keeping track of this stuff. And then, God forbid, something happened to one of you. Both of you need to know where it goes in case something happens to the other person. And this happens in surprise. You just never know when it's going to happen. So one person, right, that was the first thing, is going to keep track of it, even though both of you need to be involved. The next thing is, where do you put the documents? Well, when I say where do you put the documents, I'm talking about there's got to be one place that you guys have. It could be a file drawer, it could be a drawer, it could be a vanity or some place, but there's one place where those things go. And it might be a staging area for them, like the husband has his paycheck stubs, and he takes his paycheck stubs and sticks them where they go. And then the wife, this is probably, I don't want to over characterize anything, but the wife takes that information and puts it in the proper folder. That way, when you need that paycheck stub, particularly if you're doing a mortgage loan and you're going to need to show your paycheck stubs, it's there in the place that it's supposed to be. So just have that concept. So I suggest a file drawer, a file cabinet, but it doesn't really matter. It's any one place. And I'm going to show you some examples of some things that are available to you online. I'm not trying to sell you anything or anything like that. I just want you to be aware that stuff is available for that. Okay? So one person, one place. There we go. We're almost home. Testing. Here we go. Okay. This is in regards to my video about organization. What I wanted to do is I wanted to do show a simple one place that you could do this for very little money. And so I went online and I was looking around and I found this company called Schmid. Now Schmid, you might recognize them as they are big time in office supply, and you'll see a lot of information from them, but you don't find much stuff in the office supply places. The Office Depots, or what the other Office Max I think is the other one, or what's the other one, Staples I think. But you can order this stuff, and I ordered this directly from Schmid online. And what it is kind of like a personal organization kit for people that can get their stuff organized. And this is why I wanted to do this. And you can see it's got a very good sheet here that talks about bank records and stuff. And what's included in it, I bought extra file folders because I knew that I was going to have various files that I was going to be named, and then they go along with these hanging folders. These hanging folders are an example of where you would put each of these files. So let's just say if this was my example of a file folder for tax returns, I'd put that tax returns folder in one of these hanging files. I don't know if you can see that, but it would have tax returns on there. And I may stop this and start videoing. Hold on one second. Okay, so I took a moment and I lined up and just I wrote in there, this is for the children, and I might have a folder for each one of my children there. And then this one's for the bank statements, and it might be the bank statements for 2017. And this one would be for the medical records that we have, could be the medical bills, so that I could file the insurance. Of course, I didn't put an insurance one in there, but the main one I thought is the tax information. So you could have a separate folder for tax information for 2016, and for this new year, have tax information going in that file, so that when it comes time to file for taxes, that you're not looking for stuff all over the place. You've got it all in your one place, filed hopefully by the one person. So hopefully that makes sense. I think I'm going to put a link to where, let's see, where you can get this. It's called My Organized Life. I think that's by Schmid, and it's got all this information on there. So anyway, hopefully I'll try to figure out a way to make that so that it's handy for, it's a simple filing system to help you get organized. That's what we're trying to do. Talk to you soon. All right, and now we're talking about what documents do you keep. And I've got a list that's going to be provided with this. Actually, I want you to respond to me and say, I want that list of all the documents that I need to have file folders for. But this is the kind of an important group, and it's not in any order other than they're alphabetized. They should be alphabetized anyway. And so bank statements, yeah, you got to have a folder for that. If you have children, you need to have a folder for each child. It could be their birth certificate, could be their awards, could be all kinds of stuff. You could have multiple folders in there. Income, that includes W-2s, paycheck stubs, and you obviously tax information is going to come later. Insurance documents, you want to know where the car insurance is, you want to know where the health insurance information is, you want to know where the property insurance is. Investment statements, if you have investment statements. Legal documents, and legal documents could be anything from a deed to a power of attorney, things like that. Major purchases, when you buy something, it could be a brand new I don't know, what would be a thing? A boat or an RV, recreation vehicle, or anything that you consider as a major purchase. You might have a warranty with it. You might have the financing information in there. And you just want to have a place for that so that you can go there and look at it. And it's all in your one place. Here's another one, medical documents. You want to have medical documents available to you, your insurance policies. Again, this could be in the broader insurance category, or it could be specific to the doctor visits, the receipts that you get for that, so that you can go back to your insurance folder and sort that stuff out. And then the one that I put on here last is tax information. Now I'm going to tell you, this is not an all-inclusive list. There are a lot of things that you'll want to have specifically that are on your own for your file system, but these are the ones that I just came up with that are the basics. And of course, if you're buying a house, you're going to have a mortgage folder so that all your information is in there. So I hope I didn't run through that too fast, but if I did, you can just turn this thing around and watch it again. So the next question you have is, how long do you keep the documents? So do you have to keep them forever? Well, no, you don't. And what I did is, again, a very short version of this, not just listed. For 1 to 3 months, you keep utility bills, receipts of minor purchases, ATM and bank deposit slips. 1 to 3 months. You don't have to keep those things all the time. Here, for 1 year, you want to keep your pay stubs for 1 year. You want to keep your mortgage statements, if you have those, or rent checks, expired insurance records, and you keep them for a year. You just have that in that folder. It's not bothering anybody. Now, the big one, 7 years. This is kind of a lot of the mortgage insurance stuff, W-2s and 1099s if you get both of those. Tax deductible receipts, because the IRS can go back that far. Medical bills and claims, again, you're just going to want to have access to that. It's not necessarily that you're going to always need it, but you may. And then here's a group that's indefinitely, you'll keep these all the time, be the tax returns, the deeds, the bills of sale, year-end investment statements, legal documents, major purchases, for warranties. And when you buy a car, sometimes you get a warranty, and I consider a car a pretty major purchase these days. Auto titles, current insurance policies, educational transcripts, pension and retirement information. Those are a hint of some of the folders that you could have when you set up your system. And then finally, how long do you keep documents when considering a mortgage loan? Well, this is what I'm going to say. Pay stubs, at a minimum, you want to keep about 60 days. Now, we don't always require 60 days, but on each one of these, I'm giving you a little bit of a cushion. Bank statements, 3 months. We generally require 2 months, but if the underwriter comes back and they want to see one prior to that, you're going to have it. Investment account statements, the same thing. It's for the same purpose. Tax returns, 3 years. We generally ask for 2, but just in case, have that other year just for the heck of it. W-2s, 1099s, same as the 3 years. And then pension and or retirement award letters, 3 years. The same thing, it's going to verify income stuff. And then I thought this was kind of funny. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but this, when you do throw it away, hopefully you do a better job than this guy throwing it away. Oh, finally, there it goes. All right, so here's what we covered today. Who's going to keep track of your important documents? Well, if it's just you, one of you. If it's a couple, pick out the one that's most inclined to do that on a consistent basis. Where do you put your important documents? Well, as long as you have one place, that's all that matters. And then what documents to keep? We talked about that. And then how long do you keep the documents? Well, each documents get a little bit different care. So if you go by my list, I think you'll be in pretty good shape. So that's it. I am the Kingwood Mortgage Guy. I'd love, hopefully you'll watch this and this will help you. I think it's got some good information on there, and it might help. If it's not for you, you may know somebody that might benefit from having a system, a simple system that they can use and maintain and keep track of their documents for important things. So anyway, Mike Durr, Kingwood Mortgage Guy, I'm signing off. Appreciate you taking the time to look at this. Bye-bye.